Can you all hear me? Good morning,
Yes, good
Cynthia.
morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good
We can
morning,
hear you.
Tayo. Good morning, Kike. Good to have you all on here. First of all, happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month.
Yeah. All right. I look forward to a very insightful session today. So we'll be talking about the future of women in animation, the next generation talent and innovation. I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this
Yes, yes.
conversation. Okay. So we're going to dive right into it. But before then, I would want us to just quickly introduce ourselves to our online audience. So I'll start with Cynthia. Just tell us your name and what you do, where you work, if it applies. So just something brief.
Okay.
So
Okay. Hi everyone. Good morning. So I'm Cynthia Zulu. I'm a visual development artist. And what that means is I create characters, background designs, color scripts for animation, be it 2D animation, 3D animation. That is my focus. I'm like the front man. I'm the first person you meet before you start breaking it down to animators and the rest. So I currently work at Basement Studios. I'm the visual development artist at Basement Studios. So yeah,
thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you. Okay, Kike, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself? Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Kike Johnson. I'm a visual artist, animator. I make portrait art, I make animation. I currently work as the head of illustrations for Studio 513. I also do a lot of personal animation works that will be out soon, and some of them are out anyway. Yeah, that's basically what I do in this line of work.
Okay. Okay, sorry for that interruption. My internet was disconnected. Okay, so yeah, we're introducing ourselves, and I think I was going. So I said, my name is Ladi, and I'm the production coordinator at Basement Animation Studio. So, Taiwo would like to know about you. So please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I know there are people watching. It's such a privilege to be here. This is such a remarkable time in the history of the world and even in the history of the animation industry to be having women gathered here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Taiwo Idris. I'm a generalist, an animator, and of course, conversation, which is a platform whereby we come together to have conversations majorly about the animation industry. A lot of the non-technical skills like sales, marketing, the other stuffs, right? Thank you so much, Ladi.
Awesome, awesome. So I have with me very amazing ladies in the industry. So let's dive right into our topic of discussion for today. So we'll be talking about innovation. We're talking about the future of animation, as the next generation in the industry. So I would quickly want us to, elaborate on the topic. Starting with Cynthia, can you give us some insights on what we're talking about today?
Okay. First off, as someone who grew up and said and broke into animation a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago. I remember when I started, there weren't a lot of women in animation. There weren't like a lot of women. It was a bit of a struggle navigating the animation industry because I didn't really feel represented. I didn't really feel women that were in this particular position. But as as technology is improving, as things are getting better, we're not seeing a lot of women who want to enter this position in animation. And I think that's why we are here. We want to talk about what we can do to, offer advice as well as our own experiences so that the struggles we face then women will not face such struggles anymore. So let's give advice, talk about it, and also help, women to navigate the animation space. So yes, I can't wait for us to just like dive into it and just talk about experiences and how we can help women grow. So, yeah, thank you, Ladi. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you. Okay, so I would want to know, you talked about some how you started, that there were not really much women. So I would really want to like you to dive deeper into that conversation. So what if there were no much women doing what you do right now when you started? What was the inspiration? What inspired you? And what was that journey like for you?
Okay. Growing up, I remember I was a Disney girl. I watched Disney. I would trace the characters, just draw them. But as I grew older, I realized one funny thing. I think life has a way of just letting us forget about our dreams and things that we thought we'd want to do. So how life is. Oh, we need to make money. We need to do this. So I forgot that side of my passion. That okay, animation. And even though I didn't really have much idea of how animation can be done, I was like, oh, okay, I just forgot about it as I got older, entered uni, and then I focused on design. When I did, I felt like, oh, this is not something I want to do because I was in advertising, working as a designer, creating makeup. I was like, this is not what I want to do. There should be something else that I would feel passionate about. And then as I was digging deeper, going online, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, I started to see animators, and most of them, to be honest, they were mostly men. I was seeing their works on character designs, background designs, works they've done. And I was like, yes, I draw, but there's more to this. I can actually develop this. I can build this up. And then from there, I started meeting them online. I'll send them. In fact, I think at a point, at the beginning, I was a bit shy to send them message on Instagram or even on LinkedIn that, oh hi, I've seen your work and I would like you to mentor me or just help me out in one way or the other. I was a bit I would like use the word embarrassed, but I was a bit shy about doing that. But I spoke to a friend and she was like, no, don't feel that way. They will be more than happy to help. That even if somebody turns me down, what is the worst they will say? They'll say no, right? And then I'll move on with my life. It's not like I know them from anywhere. So from there, I started building that up. I will send them a message. And yeah, it takes some of them some time to reply because I think artists, what is the word? They don't really come online as much. So yeah, it took them some time to reply, but they did reply and it was positive. They're like, okay, oh, these are some books you can learn. Yes, I can be available. They were just, trying to help out. And that was like, okay, wow. Then from there, I spent hours studying. And bear in mind, I was still working my 9 to 5. But I'll spend the nights just drawing, practicing. I was even having some training programs I was doing in the nights because I promised myself, okay, if this is animation I want to break into, I need to break into it. And I'll say getting resources was really quite hard. They were expensive, they were hard to get. You couldn't get books in animation in Nigeria. I'm sure all of us we all know that. Like it's really, really tough getting books and resources in Nigeria. I think things have gotten a bit better, but it was all of that, not getting enough resources. I didn't really understand the Nigerian animation industry. Like in terms of, I didn't really know it even existed when I was starting. It was the more I spent time online, spent time on Instagram, I discovered, oh, there are artists like me posting, right? And there was not even much, like there was no group, there was no animation group, even particularly for women. There was no animation group at that time, for women in Nigeria. So there was all of that, no mentor. I can't see anyone that worked, any female that worked in animation. I think I saw one or two, but they weren't a lot. It wasn't that encouraging. But because of the passion I had in mind, this is what I wanted. I think that was what pushed me to just continue doing it and just doing it. So yeah, that was all the challenges I was facing trying to break into animation.
Oh, that's awesome. How about you, Kike? How was it like? What inspired you? Is it like Cynthia? Was it were you a Disney girl as well? Because I think I can relate to that. At some point, I made sure that as Disney is releasing cartoons, I'm watching it. Because
Mhm.
I really, really loved cartoons as a child. So was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was actually very similar, honestly. I think that most women in this industry would have a very similar, foundation. Um, I was very much into cartoons, paintings. I loved art so much when I was younger. We used to do like challenges in school, like Kellogg's cornflakes and Cocoa Pops. I would cut out, I would draw the characters out. I just loved it, but I never really knew how to get into the industry as well, and to me, it just seemed very technical. It just seemed very impossible. As I started to grow, of course, I went to school for this, the master's in something totally different, and didn't think that I would come back into the arts industry. However, I started off as creating um, illustrations for children's books. I would illustrate them, and I'll think to myself, oh, these things could come alive, right? But how would they come alive? That was really the major part. How do I bring it to life? And a part of my doing my research was understanding that animation was basically animation was basically the movement of my illustrations, right? So started to learn how to do that. I started to get into 3D a little bit. I also own a textile company and fashion brand, so it was something that I could incorporate into that as well, using cloth 3D to create fabrics, to create, I was just very interested in that area. So I have come to understand that it is hard to find your fit, right? But when you know what exactly you want to do, it's also easier to streamline and find, the right space or place for you in this industry. It's a very, very male dominated industry. I'm not going to lie to you. Studio 530, when we started, I was the only female illustrator and the only female that understood animation. Now we have, I think, just two other women So we have more men than women, and it's encouraging to see platforms like this that would encourage women to join the industry. I absolutely love what Basement Studio is doing here. But yeah, getting into industry was something I always wanted to do. I'm happy that I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. But it would be nice to encourage more women to join the industry for sure. You're muted, Ladi.
Okay, yeah, so I said that was very inspiring, and I was asking Taiwo how it was for her. How did she start? Because I've been following the conversations we've been having on the pipeline, low key, but it's been something that anytime I see that you have um, a maybe is it a master class or a talk, a panel discussion coming up, I'm always very impressed. Like wow, this is somebody that is actively doing something, for the industry as a woman. So I want to know if it was the same for you, or was it a different intuition that you had that made you start or go into animation?
Thank you so much, Ladi. Thank you so much for your, don't let me say kind words like they say on LinkedIn, but yeah. Thank you so, so much for the compliments. Really, really appreciate it. So, I think for me, right, my own story did not start like, a lot of times when I meet people in the industry, they're like, oh, I've always loved comic books. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Ty. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. So people are like, I've always loved comics books since I've been young. I've loved drawing. I've loved doing all of these things. My own story is not like that at all. Science is what I've known all my life. I studied pharmacy in the university. I just graduated last December from the University of Lagos. So science is what I've known all my life. Remember earlier in January in 2024, I was having this conversation with my dad, and I'm like, oh, because motion graphics was something that I really, really loved. I love the way I see shapes moving, text moving. As we all know that motion graphics is moving text and the elements of design and all. So for me, coming into the animation industry was really a good thing, to be very honest, because I was having this conversation with my dad, and I'm like, I want to learn this motion graphics thing, blah blah blah. I could remember then that I was a part of a community of people that are motion designers, even though I was not in that space yet, right? So, and because I already had a graphic design background in 2021, I thought I was going to be a professional graphic designer. So I was being mentored by somebody for an entire year, volunteered with organizations and all. So looking at motion graphics, right, I really loved the way everything was playing out. And I think in that season, I came across this particular guy in New York. His name is, I think, Sekoni Solomon. He uses Cinema 4D to actually, if you know him, you can check him out. It's really amazing. He uses Cinema 4D to do his motion graphics. So I was really impressed. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I want to get, into this space and all of that. I was having a conversation with my dad. Back to the story. And I went to look online for some free courses and all of that. And I can remember on the group chat, the motion graphic designers group chat that I'm on, this particular set of people had like free links whereby if you wanted to take courses, right, you can look for, like, they have like a website whereby you can go there and access free links for any course you want to take in the animation industry, if it's modeling, whatever. So I went to check for the motion graphics own, and of course, I did not pull through with that. Actually, I started, but I didn't complete it. And later on, I was just scrolling randomly one day on Instagram, the way we all scroll. And I came across Dell Your Creative Academy and of course the YAPI program. So by the time I came across it, I decided, okay, let me apply, right? Because there was a tiny bit of what's it called? A passion, right? Something burning, a burning desire in my heart towards that. So I decided to apply, and that was how I got into the animation industry as a whole. So of course, by the time I got in, of course, had to go through the whole process, learning everything in the pipeline and all of that. So that was majorly like the way that I got into the industry, right? And of course, I got into the industry. I don't think it was up to 6 months, and God started laying in my heart to start up the pipeline conversation, to start having conversations about the African animation industry. And of course, I decided, because I'm a Jesus girl, I'm a person of faith. So I decided that whatever it is that God would have me do, whatever it is that is laying in my heart, I'm going to get it done. So that was why I started off the pipeline conversation. And the first conversation was around 3D modeling. But besides that, also, I also started off my newsletter on LinkedIn, right? Writing to over 600 professionals in the industry about my animation journey, titled this animation journey. So it's been an amazing journey, because of course, with a lot of challenges and difficulties, it's crazy when you're coming from science and you're trying to come into art, and you're trying to look for, oh, what's the fusion between these two things. But yes, to be honest with you, animation has been one of the most challenging things I've done. But yeah, it's been good actually. So that has just majorly been it. It was later along the journey that there was a session that we did at Yapi, and it was a mentorship session. And Dr. Akan was like, it was a particular session on mentorship and all, and he started talking to us. In fact, that day I'm like, God planned. He had my time, because the entire conversation on that day was specifically for me. I started talking about how, even if you're coming into the animation industry, the next, right? Maybe you're a writer and you're trying to dive into animation, right? You could write in the animation industry, right? So it was the same also. Could be a fusion between animation and healthcare. And I decided that, okay, I started to research about it, that okay, I'm going to see what animation can really do in the healthcare sector, in education and all of that. So that was why I started pursuing that path. Like, remember during that year also, I had like this particular there was this vaccine, and there was this session that came up on using arts to promote health, right? So I reached out to a friend, a colleague of mine from Yapi then, and we worked on creating an animation project, 3D animation project to promote cervical cancer. And that's when my journey has really, really continued. Still exploring, still learning. There's so much to do in Africa, so I'm excited.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you all so much. I think we all have unique stories, you know, even though the baseline or something that I think cuts across everyone is passion, pick up that interest, But thank you for sharing how you all got started. And I'm sure somebody listening right now can take from all that you said and say, okay, I think there's a place for me too in the animation industry. So yeah, so back to our topic of discussion, the future of animation. We'll be discussing innovations and trends. So like Cynthia, for example, now Cynthia does visual development. I think the first question I would want to ask is: do you feel threatened by the AI, the innovation that is happening right now? Because I know that AI is moving so fast. You can literally type a prompt and say, "Okay, design something like this for me," and it will be so. Although not really detailed, you can see a human being that has 10 fingers, like on one hand. So that is the downside of AI. But yeah, I think there's also that competition. I'm sure you might not, I don't know, maybe you don't feel like that, but it might have crossed your mind, once or twice that actually this is not going to come and take my job away from me. So what do you think about the innovation and AI that is, coming up right now?
Okay. When I heard when you were talking about it, I won't lie. At the beginning, when I heard, oh, AI, at first I was like, let AI come, let AI come. Nothing, they have nothing on us. But as days, weeks, and I'm seeing what people are doing, at first I was like, oh, okay. It seems they've gotten a little bit better. And if we are being honest, definitely in the next coming years, 2, 3 years, they're going to get a whole lot better. at that, at whatever they're doing. Yes, they have the 10 fingers, the face looking uncanny valley, where the face is looking wonky and just so funny, but they're still going to get better. I won't lie, at some point there was a beginning, there was a middle point. I think 6 months where we started seeing all of this. Not just me, because I'm in a forum where we have other artists that do visual development. We had that conversation, and they were like, "Oh, what are we going to do?" Like some people were starting to worry, and maybe not some studios, but some places are now using AI rather than employing people. So yeah, we have that little fear, and for some, it's a lot of fear that what are we going to do? But there's one thing I will know is AI lacks creativity. There's something about the human touch that no matter what AI lacks. Because if you compare animation 10 years ago to animation now, there's a huge difference. If you look at Into the Spider-Verse, 3D is not like the 3D you see. 3D now, they're incorporating a lot of 2D elements into it, like a lot of painting effects, a lot of lines and stroke. And most of these studios, if you ask them, they'll be like, oh, we have to get that watercolor effects or to get that painting effect, we have to paint and then scan it and then try to work it down with the 3D application we have. So no matter what, they still need us. They still need us to think outside the box and not create the same old thing. Because if you keep using AI, at the point AI is just garbage in, garbage out. It's using the same art style they've been using. It keeps on using it, but human mind will recreate. We're thinking of, oh, what new thing can I do? Because all this 3D and 2D we are seeing now, some of the art styles were like, wow, 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 wow. It's somebody that sat down and was thinking and spent days, weeks, even maybe even months trying to develop this new art style. AI cannot do that. AI is not creative, doesn't have the mind right now to think. It just, when you're even creating prompts, you have to give it example of the after you want. That means you're just copying somebody after. You're not even creating something new. So yeah, yes, they might take some jobs, but they're not going to take all. They still need us. They still need the human touch. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So how about you, Kike? I think Cynthia is not threatened at all by AI and tech. She's secured that it cannot take her spot. And I kind of agree with what she's saying. Creativity is that ingenuity that we have as humans. It's something artificial intelligence, unfortunately, I don't. Let me not say can never have, because the way technology is moving, but for now, we know that it does not have that. So, has it helped you in your work? What do you think about it? Are you in the same space with Cynthia where you don't
Okay.
think it's going to, oust you
Yeah.
from what you
I,
do?
I don't I, I don't believe that we should be frightened by AI at all. Just like Cynthia said, definitely the human touch thing is still there. And it's something that we have, at least that's our own edge over AI, right? At the same time, I also believe that as creatives, we shouldn't box ourselves into, oh, AI is terrible, we are great. I think that we can also benefit from AI itself, So as much as we want to let people know that, oh, we can do this way better than AI. I think last week I was having a conversation with someone, and the person mentioned the same discussion with me, and was talking about how, oh, okay, they had maybe they had seen something on Threads where an Indian lady wanted someone to create an illustration for her, and she gave a brief. And all the three illustrators she paid to get it done used AI. And they kept saying they didn't use AI, but she posted the pictures and it was so obvious that they used AI, right? They said they wanted rice in a plate with fish. The rice was literally at the edge of the plate as a heap. So you know how AI can be so distorted, and it was so obvious there was AI. So in cases like that, you can see that when you give me a brief and say, "Okay, I would love for you to create an illustration of a girl sitting under the rain and she's crying," I can understand that because I understand emotions. I understand what it feels like to have rain beating me. So I know what it would feel like to put that on paper compared to AI, right? That is beautiful. That is fine. As a creative, sometimes I could have a creative block, or sometimes I might not just be thinking as creative as I usually do. And I tell myself, okay, let me use AI to find prompt. Okay, I'm trying to create a color or a sketch of a girl, what color do you think is best to show the emotions? I've used AI in one way or the other, right? It's giving me an idea of the color to use for her dress. It doesn't mean, oh, my entire project is going to be AI based. No, I love to have that human touch in my illustrations, my animations, anything I do. I love for my clients to see that, oh, Kika took her time, right, to do this thing from the beginning to the end. Is there a case where I just put something and in a few seconds I've gotten an answer? It could work for some people, but not for me generally. So as much as AI is not my best, my go-to system, I would also say we as creatives can still benefit from it, right? We can still find a way. We don't want to be like, how they used to be in the olden days where it's like, oh, we used to do things this way. Any new thing that's coming is not coming to what, no, no, no. We want to be very, very open to new ideas. And yeah. So that's my take on AI.
Awesome, awesome. For me too, I think I embrace artificial intelligence a lot because it's for me, like Ike said, it makes work easy. I don't 100% use it, but to create prompts. Sometimes when I feel stuck, when I'm trying to do something and I feel stuck, I go to AI, maybe ChatGPT, and I just pour out my thoughts. And when I get feedback, I can now refine that, and continue working on whatever it was I was working on. So, Taiwo, how about you? What do you think about this new technology called artificial intelligence?
Thank you, Lati. Like, I'm loving what everybody has been saying so far about artificial intelligence. Honestly, I'm definitely part of those creative embracing AI because because we have to be real, to be very honest. Tech is changing the world, right, at a really really fast pace, that even as a creative, if you don't embrace AI at some point, right, in your workflow, whatever it is that you do, right, you'll become extinct, right? We don't even want to start envisioning how Africa or Nigeria or the world is going to be like in the year 2050, right? AI is definitely not here to, of course, there are some people that are going to lose their jobs, obviously, right? But AI is not going to, I sincerely don't think, if we are saying people are not going to lose their jobs, we are just lying to ourselves, right? But let's just call a spade a spade. I feel like at some point in time, right? Please hold on. So sorry, please. So sorry. I'm actually at the hospital, so patients here and there, different matters. But yes, but at some point in time, everybody has to get into the space of I have to. You don't have to 100%, like Kike already said, and Ladi, you don't have to 100% use AI to do everything in your workflow. But I know for free that AI can really, really make your process, like the pipeline process, like really easier, and it even helps to even deliver some of your works like at a faster time. What you are going to sit down to use 7 days to do, honestly, with AI you can actually achieve that in 2 days. To be really honest, like things like storyboard now, right, there are even some projects that you work on that you, how will I explain it, you will have to maybe go and sit down, maybe to start drawing, to start doing all of that, to show the client like a prototype, like, okay, this is what, for the client to be able to visually see whatever it is that you're working on, so that they can approve, instead of stressing yourself to maybe create something, and then by the time the client now makes a correction, you now have to now go back and start tweaking stuff. And we all know that animation is actually tough. The pipeline itself can actually be quite stressful. You are always correcting one thing or adjusting something. So one of the things that we can do is you can use AI to create visual images, right, and show those clients, so that by the time you show them, right, if they have corrections, you can now go back to AI, right, and still tweak that before you now even go and open your system and start creating anything. To be honest, I really think that that would really, really work. Instead of a client coming and you start working on the project straight up, you can use AI to actually by prompting it properly, obviously, because even this AI stuff that we are thinking, by the time somebody hears AI now, they are thinking that AI is this. That's a big lie. I have projects right now in the healthcare sector that I'm trying to create using AI because and trust me, those projects, right? Prompting AI has been one of the most difficult things. It is not easy to prompt AI. It is, oh God, how do I explain? It is a skill set that needs to be acquired on its own. Right? AI is something that you need to get mastery in. Honestly, because a lot of time when people see stuff that AI generate, they just assume that it's easy. That's a big lie. It is not easy, right? So AI is going to make life easier, right? Because like platforms like Mixamo, we all know Mixamo. If you don't know Mixamo, you can go check it out. Like Mixamo now, there are some even animations, right? Maybe character animations that you may not necessarily have to be wasting time. You get to sit down and do everything. You can go to Mixamo, input the character there, and Mixamo, if you properly rig it, Mixamo can rig it, and Mixamo can even animate it for you. Honestly, Mixamo can do all of that. It's just to make life easy, actually. So at the end of the day, I feel like AI is not necessarily going to take anybody's job, right? The question is going to remain: are you going to stay relevant, or are you going to be extinct, right? Because of the excuse of, oh, I don't want to go with the flow, I don't want to go with the technological trends, right? So that's just what it is, actually. So AI is, at the end of the day, as human beings, right? Like Cynthia rightly mentioned, right? It can't be replaced like the human touch and of course the human brain, our intelligence and all of that, right? But as creatives, right, I would encourage everyone, right? If you have the opportunity to learn about AI, please go ahead to actually learn. What I even think is going to happen is that we may have another niche in the animation industry whereby we have people that their AI their niches using AI to create stuff, right? There's somebody that I know that is
Fashion.
just and he uses AI to actually, he's an AI filmmaker. So I think we are going to have a new niche in the industry that is definitely going to be tailored towards that, actually. So I don't really think it's going to maybe take people's job or do much of all of that, actually. The question is, are you going to leverage AI? I'm ready to leverage AI, by the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Taiwo. Yeah. So I think for anybody that wants to join the animation industry, don't you think this is the best time to join, even as a woman? Because we have technologies that makes life easy. See what Taiwo is saying, like she's envisioning. I think Taiwo is a prophetess. She can see the future. She's envisioning a whole, niche of people, that use AI to get their job done. So I think we shouldn't be among the people that reject change. We should actually embrace change, embrace technology, and look for how we can fuse it into our work and make work, easy, seamless. Because life shouldn't be so stressful. You should be able to, as well, we are creative, so the way our brain works, we always have to be on top of our game as much as we can, So, and we're also humans. There are times when you get stuck, you know. So I think this is actually the best time for anybody that wants to join the industry, even if you don't even know how to draw. There are now new technologies that you can use. Just as long as you have an idea, you can do whatever it is you want to do. When I traveled to Annecy last year, I saw this motion capture for the first time, how it's being used. When you wear this whole regalia and then you move and it captures your motion and then it translates that motion into whatever you have drawn and rig. And it's so easy. And I'm like, wow, look at what technology is doing. So even when you want to come into the industry and you feel like, oh, okay, I don't have any talent at all, there are things that you can use, to execute your work and make work easy for you. So thank you very much for answering and giving your opinion on artificial intelligence and technology. So I would also want to know if you guys use, apart from artificial intelligence, when you guys compared to when you guys started and now, has there been any maybe software or any tool that has really made work very easy for you? For what you do right now, like for Cynthia now as a visual development artist, is there any technology or any tool, that you recently discovered that has made work easy for you? Maybe I should go first. For me, as a production coordinator, there's this one that we use in the office right now, and in fact, I love it so much. It's Kitsu. We use it to schedule our productions. I used to track the team members, what they are doing, to assign shots, to just managing the whole project, basically. And it's so funny that I cannot even remember how I used to manage productions before we started using this particular software. It has made work so easy for me, so seamless. So I want to know, and also I think our audience would also want to know, things that you people use to make your work very easy, so that probably they can adopt it. So Cynthia, yeah, I think you should go first.
Okay. Funny enough, I actually use ChatGPT like a lot. So, as a visual development artist, they give you a brief, create these character designs, or what style will go for the show. There are times where I'm like, okay, just to get the momentum start, like, let me just get started. I just put some of those info, like, okay, what color do you think will work best for a character that is shy and, and still loves adventure? Sometimes they recommend red and they explain why they're using this color red for the character's clothes or outfit, or why they think based on the prompt I've given that, oh, I should make the background more moody than normal. Because they give these little bits of ideas here and there. And then from there, and usually it takes me a while to, by the time I start looking for references and doing all of that, by the time they ChatGPT like breaks this down a little bit. So I know, okay, oh, this is what I'll do. So when I get the prompt, I just get my tab, start writing, or maybe a notebook, start writing and start trying to get to know the character, understand the word. But some of the ideas I use, some of them I refine them to be a bit better. Of course, this takes time because I'm actually trying to understand what AI is saying and just trying to get a better prompt. So I use that in my workflow when it comes to color scripts, even color scripts like for the color of clothes for the character, the background color, and just the mood and feel of a particular story. So yes, and also maybe when I'm doing like practicing, like I want to practice my work, like I want to just draw a character for just drawing sake and just to practice. I ask ChatGPT to just give me an idea for a character I can draw. And it does like just give me a brief. Like if you're a studio, give me a brief. And it does give me this brief. And then from there I start implementing and just using it to draw, create characters, create backgrounds, or just create a story. So yeah, I use ChatGPT a lot. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. How about you, Kike?
Oh, so for me, I mean, personally, the tools that I love to use, I started off with Procreate, like generally for illustration, animation, you know, definitely love to use ChatGPT a lot. It helps me, especially when I'm stuck, trying to get like ideas. It helps me a lot. For reading, however, I know that the animation industry's favorite tool to use or software is Toon. But I personally love Google. I don't know, it's just something very easy and smooth about it. People do not understand why, but it's just a personal thing. Um, it's very easy to use. There's the system, the software is really easy for readers and animators to read easily, to create words, to move your characters without thinking of mathematics in Togo. Togo is so hard and difficult as well of concern. But yeah, Google has helped me. I would say that I don't know for sure, but I'll say the software has been created in a way that kind of seems that feels like they have a little bit of AI infused in it. Because if you think about it, the fact that most of the software are now so easy and comfortable to use, it kind of sounds like AI in my own opinion. But generally, I love a lot to use tools that makes work easy and smooth for me. So for reading and animation, I also love to screen. You have an iPad, I can also have it. Yeah, that's basically it.
All right, awesome. Thank you. How about you, Taiwo?
Okay. I'm loving the conversation. Okay, so for me, right? So ChatGPT, like Cynthia said, ChatGPT has really been a lifesaver for me, honestly. because I'm a generalist, and to some extent, especially if you are the phase in your journey where you cannot maybe afford to what's it called, pay people, right, to maybe um collaborate with you, maybe bring in a script writer, bring in other people in the pipeline, right? Using ChatGPT can actually really be really helpful actually. Of course, there's a way to go about the prompting, and I've actually done that. Like, I have about two projects that I'm working on. There's one that, of course, I'm not a script writer, but there's one that was a personal story that happened to me when I was young, and healthcare issue and all of that. And I wrote it the way I could write it well, but I took it into ChatGPT to actually refine it for me, right? There's also a script that ChatGPT itself came up with for me. So I think it boils down to the way we actually prompt like ChatGPT, right? There's a way you can prompt ChatGPT that all the human emotions, all of those things is going to add it. By the time I came across some prompt on YouTube, and they're like, write a Reddit story for me. What, I don't know if anybody knows Reddit, but there's a way that those stories those stories are like, so you can prompt. So ChatGPT has actually been really helpful in my journey, just like Cynthia said. Also, I think there is this application known as Storyboarder. I was a part of some group of people that wanted to work on a project. Of course, at the end of the day, like in the industry now, we could not deliver on that work. But yeah, this was around Christmas, and we're trying to come up with a Christmas themed stuff. So for the storyboard, right, we were able to leverage an application known as Storyboarder, right, to actually work on the storyboard and all of that. So it actually made life easier. Actually, of course, I know the manual way of creating storyboard, whereby you can draw on paper, do all of that, but having to do that yourself really help. Something I've also worked with also is Unreal Engine, right? Unreal Engine is something that I've actually worked with, right? And it's obviously like a new innovation that is coming up, right? We may have heard of Unreal Engine and all of that. So Unreal Engine has really helped my workflow in the sense that Unreal Engine can render in real time. Unreal Engine, I think Unity can render in real time. So these are two applications that, like Blender now, if I'm trying to render stuff, I remember the first project I did on Blender. This project, I spent like 7 days or something trying to render that stuff. But during, like, when I was at Yapi and all of that, right, I realized that with Unreal Engine, immediately you're working on a project, right, it's generating it for you in real time. It is rendering it in real time. So that's also something that has really helped my workflow. Something like Mixamo, I had like a one character, like an animal character at some point that we had to go to Mixamo, what to animate that particular character. Know that it was AI or Mixamo and platforms like that that actually did that. So that's just it. That's something I've also been working on lately is also Genmo AI and then Runway LML. They are platforms whereby you can input text and generate videos from them, right? You can your scripts now, you can put it into them, and then they are going to generate videos and all of that. It actually makes the workflow faster. Another one that I know that somebody works with that is not necessarily me is somebody that is a colleague. He works with there's this character creator, and I don't know the producers. I think by iClone. I don't know if it's by iClone or something, but character creator. He bought it once. If you have money, you can go and buy. But he bought it once, and it's such that that stuff can generate clothes, and it can generate what's it called? It can generate characters from the start. And I'm talking about, this is somebody that can do the manual. Do you get? So I'm not saying don't learn the manual. Please go and learn the manual, because if you don't even know the manual, if the problem comes up on Mixamo when you are going to upload your character, know the manual. So this is somebody that knows the manual, but it's like, I've done this manual for a while. So let's start leveraging the technologies that are out there. So, and he bought character creator, and it has been creating characters, right? And I think he's charging about $200 for a character. So it's just what it is either way. So that's what I'm going to be sharing. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. I hope our online audience, I hope you guys are taking notes. Like, this is a whole lot of softwares that these ladies have been calling that they use, and you can tell from their user experience that they enjoy using it. So yeah, ChatGPT, Mixer more that Taiwo talks about. Even me too, I'm learning that Gen more. What did you call that one? I'm going to look that up. you know. So, like I said, I think for anyone looking to join the industry, whether you're thinking that, oh, I don't have talent, where do I start from? How do I, find my bearing? Just start. This is the right time. This is a very good time to start. There are a lot of helpful tools that would help you kickstart your career. Another thing I would want us to talk about is we've been in the industry for quite a while now. I know from the bios of people that I've read, I know the least person here will be in the industry, let's say 3 years now. How was it when you came into the industry? Was it receptive? Did you get any help from mentors? Because I know mentorship for me, it goes a long way. Helping people that are coming up, even if you didn't get that kind of help when you started. Helping people that are coming up to find their feet is actually a very big deal. So, did you guys get any of that? And if not, how would you have people that want to get mentors? How would you have them approach people that you would want to mentor them? I think let's mix it up now. Let's start with Kike. Maybe she would want to answer that.
Um, so during the industry, I would say,
I think, sorry, your audio is a bit low,
okay, 1 second. Is it better?
much better.
Okay, okay, thank you. So, like I said, I was received well. I was really, really privileged to be among like other creatives. When I joined the industry, it was a good thing that I was able to find creatives in the art industry at large, right? So I have writers, animators, illustrators, 3D artists, things like that. So being able to find the community was what helped me. I didn't really have mentorship, right? I was also part of the British Council, what's it called now? The creative economy thing we did in, I think, 2021 with Basement Studio,
CESP, Creative Enterprise
CSP.
Support Program.
So I was part of that as well. I got to learn a lot about, the business aspect of animation at the time, met creatives as well. So one thing that I've come to do and I've understood that's worked for me is I always put myself in a position where I get to meet people, network people, people that I want to work with, people that I want to have in my industry, in my circle. This has helped me to grow personally because when we meet and I'm hearing their side of the story, their point of view on a certain discussion, I'm like, oh, okay, we could actually use this thing to do better. We can approach things this way. So that has helped me. Like I said, I didn't really have mentorship, but I've just had people, I've had a community, right? Studio 513, for example, when we started, we just came together, creatives came together outside the studio, right? And when we started, of course, we're not as many as we are right now, but we learned from each other, right? We grew together. Till today, we still have a couple of groups that we're on. We share ideas, we talk. So things like that would help you as a creative, right, to grow. So if there's anybody that's actually looking out for, oh, please mentor me. Usually, I get DMs like that a lot, right? And I personally do not know where to start from. Oh, how do I want to mentor somebody randomly, right? Like Cynthia said, now you reach out to somebody and you won't even get a response. Yeah, because sometimes the creative is also thinking, where do I start from? I'm also very busy. So do I tell you to come to my studio and be learning under me? Would you have transportation? Would you be able to leave your house? What's really far away? So what's the best way to go about it? If you do not have anybody to go to, let's say, mentor under, just find people around you that are creatives that will think out of the box or do not want to sit in one position for a long time because as a creative That is sometimes they call it a blessing and a curse, right? Because you have ideas, you're thinking of the next big thing, but you have not even finished the project you're working on. You're still thinking of, this character will be mad to create, you know? So things like that. You need to have people that can understand that creative process and can help you say, listen, let's finish this project first. I understand that this, just write it down, journal it down in your journal. We'll come back to it later. You know, so mentorship is great, very great. I no doubt about it. But if you cannot get mentorship, find friends, find people, go for events like this Afro Women in Animation Fest on Saturday. Meet people, you meet people, network, tell them what you do. By the time you've spoken to three people, you've got in contact. Next thing, this is the project we're working on. Would you be interested in joining? You know, so for me, it doesn't have to be mentorship. Mentorship can come and it's a blessing if it does come, but if you do not have that, find the community, meet people and network.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So Kike said if you cannot find a mentor, one-on-one mentor, you should look for a community of creatives that you can join and you guys can encourage yourselves, share ideas and whatnot. So we'll be rounding up soon. I've really loved everybody's contribution so far. Um, I just want to ask Cynthia. I want to ask her how we can create a more inclusive workspace for women. I would also be giving my own input on that as well, but I would want Cynthia to go first because I know she works with Basement, yes, but I think she works remotely. But basement where the studio is really big on inclusion and the female gender in the industry and all that. Yeah. So how do you think other studio owners watching can create a more inclusive workspace for their female staff?
Okay, thank you, Labi. Yeah, I work for Basement remotely. So I think first and foremost, I feel like we need to create like a safe space for women. We need to have festivals that cater to women needs. What does that mean? We need to have like we have Afro Women Animation Fest coming up. We need to have more of that, not just only one studio focused on doing that. We need to have more studios thinking of doing that. The more festivals we have, the more we are telling people out there that we understand that there are not much women in this space, but we're trying to encourage women that, this is a space that they can actually look into having as a career. They can have a career in animation. And the more we're getting people to know about it, the more engagement, the more people are learning about it, the more women, even those that are not even in uni yet, even those in secondary school. I'm sure everybody uses social media, even the ones in secondary school, they use social media, the ones in uni. So the more they are seeing these messages, even if they've not taught or they don't think they can ever have the life in animation, they know that you don't need to draw to be able to join animation. There are other jobs in animation that doesn't require talent, which a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know about production coordinator. A lot of people don't know about what they call it, VFX. A lot of people don't know about even voice acting. There's so many side in animation. A lot of people don't know. But the more we do all these festivals, the more we post on Instagram, the more we just put on LinkedIn, just letting people on different social media platforms know that there are other jobs apart from drawing. There are other jobs that don't require drawing and all of that. We get people thinking and they're like, okay, maybe this is something I can try. And maybe if they go for trainings, they look for mentors, they might decide, oh, I have a passion in this. I really want to go into it. Because for me, when I was entering, to be honest, I did not even know about production coordinator until I started hearing from people, oh, there are other aspects to animation. And I bet you, like, trust me when I say this, a lot of people too don't know about this. So we can just always be pushing out content, be educating the public, the mass about what animation is. Not just about having festival, but what are we doing? It's promoting ads, it's creating festivals that people talk about, what animation is. I feel like this will get more women into this space. Not only just that, I feel like studios too, what can they can be more intentional in hiring
I
females.
love it.
They should be more intentional about doing that. They can host training programs. Yes, there are some women that don't. Maybe they might have the talent, but don't know the technical how to to work in animation. They can offer training like an internship, paid internship, because let's be honest, everybody needs money to survive. So like a paid internship. That way they are encouraging women that, oh, okay, you can learn this. We are going to pay you to learn if this is something you want to do. And trust me, if your market is more women will come in. It might not be so, you might not be paying them like $1 billion, or you might not be paying them like $1 millionaire every month. But if you're giving them something that they use as transport fare to come in and learn, I know a lot of industry do that. They offer this internship program training for like 6, 7 months and still pay them. So for them to learn, especially when they notice that there's a gap in the market, if they notice that, oh, we don't have much people coming in for this position, they put it out there, we'll train you and we'll pay you to learn. So I think this is also something that a lot of studios can employ just to get more women into the space.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. For me, I think we, the women that are already in the industry too, we can create safe space for other women that are coming on board. Encourage them. We shouldn't be stuck up. You know, and look down on people that actually reach out to us and say, oh, I like what you do. How do I come in? Let's not gatekeep as much as we can. Be open to share ideas, conversations, with people that also want to do the same thing you are doing. Some people might feel threatened that, oh, okay, you want to come and take my position. I feel like the sky is big for everybody to fly. Yeah, there are people that think like that. When you approach them for help, they shut you down immediately and give you reasons why you should not even come and join in the first place. There are people like that. So I think we on our own, we also need to, let people know that, oh, okay, this is something that you can do, and be open to sharing ideas, be open to help people. People need help. I also think that, like Cynthia said, for the studios that employ women, number one, they need to be open to employing women to start with, because there's this bias that people have, on having female creatives on the team. Like, time will come now, you get married, you start having children, you say you're on your period, you won't be able to show up, you drag us back, stuff like that. I've heard crazy things that people say, and I feel like we are women is our own unique is it's our own uniqueness. We are mothers, we are wives, we are sisters. So if these studios can make room for those excesses, like maternity leaves, there should just be that accommodates the women as much as possible. Yes, we know that our dynamics are different from the guys, but there should also be that accommodation for us, so that we can shine and thrive as much as we can. So yeah, I think Taiwo is going to tell us, or tell a budding female that wants to join the admission industry, um, the opportunities that are available for her. We can do script writing, you can do voice acting. It depends on what. Even there are people that, like, in my office now, we have accountants. You don't need um, you don't need to have drawing skills to do that. We're also still in the animation industry. So Ty will just give us a word for someone that is watching and want to be like you, in the future. What would you say to her?
Please, can you come again? I didn't get that.
Okay, so I was saying that if you have a word for a budding female animator or someone that is looking to join the industry, and she wants to be like you, is that something you would want her to know?
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, I think the first things first is that I need you to carry the mindset of possibility, right? Because for me, one of the early struggles that I faced when I joined the industry was that when we started 3D modeling, I felt like it was too difficult. I was and the first thing we had to even model was the ASU. It was just one, oh god, you need to see like series of sticks joined together, but it was so tough for me that at some point I had to start saying to God, like, are you sure that I'm actually supposed to be here? I wanted to quit. Like, I don't think I've even used up to 2 months. I'm like, this thing it does not, it does not make sense, right? But during that period, right, as I sat down to reflect, right, God started speaking to me about the fact that it's okay. God started speaking to me about the fact that it's okay, right? Just take it step by step, right? So when you're coming into the animation industry, right, is a tough, is a challenging, is a difficult pipeline, right? But you need to carry the mindset of possibility, right? That even in the midst of it being tough, and when I'm talking about being tough, I'm not talking about it's not possible to create stuff. No, I'm talking about the fact that with animation you need to borrow yourself patience, right? It takes a long time to learn. It takes quite for 3D, right? Because I'm in the 3D space. It takes time to learn 3D animation. I don't know about 2D. I don't know, it takes time. So you need to be able to see possibilities that if other people can do this thing, right, I also can do it, right? It is not difficult, right? So you need to let go of your fears, you need to let go of your doubts, you need to begin to see yourself as a change maker, as a visionary that can create the future. So that's the very first thing that I'm going to say. Next thing I'm going to say is when you're coming in, right, carry the mindset that you want to master the craft, right? You have to carry the mindset that I want to become so good that I cannot be ignored. Because at the end of the day, we are talking about okay, bias against women in the animation industry, this and that. Of course, that exists, and we are not. I'm not saying that that does not exist. There's a lot that I can mention. But what I'm trying to say is that if you become so good, right, it's not going to matter if you're a woman or you're a man. So far as you've proven over time, you have a track record, you've proven over time that okay, you are good. People have seen the works that you do, right? And they are like, oh, this person is good, right? So the most another second thing is just master your craft. Have the mindset that you are here to come and master the craft, to come and learn and to come and know, right? Whereby you have to borrow yourself patience even on the journey, right? And also another thing to also do is seek for mentorship. Seek for mentorship. Mentorship has actually been said, right, earlier on, but it's quite important because one of the things I've noticed with mentorship is like somebody holding your hands and placing their credibility on you, right? And it's even such that for me now personally, right, when I was coming into the industry, I had like I think me having a bit of mentorship really helped me because in the African animation industry, you find that a lot of people are self-taught, right? So it's quite possible that you see that a lot of people didn't have like the mentorship opportunities and all of that, and they are doing fantastic. Like Kike said earlier now that she didn't have like the whole mentorship thing, right? Everybody's journey is different. But for me now, I had like the whole mentorship thing, and even currently, an industry leader that is a mentor to me is Omoyefe Majoro, right? Omoyefe is somebody that I just buzz and I'm like, I have this particular question on this thing, and Omoyefe is like, Taiwo, let's get on a call. Are you feel? See, in December, me and Omoyefe had like this 2 hours call. I needed to see the amount of wisdom that she shared with me. Even in the past 3 weeks, we've had a conversation, and she has just been so open, right? And she was even the one that reached out to me initially. It was about Afro women in animation. So what am I saying? I'm just saying that mentorship is quite important because mentorship is going to help you close a lot of gaps, right? That person that you are looking, that you admire, has gone maybe 10 years, 15 years, 5 years ahead of you. Trust me, that person has gone ahead of you. So there are things that you're trying to do now that they've gone through the process already, and you having a conversation with them is going to really put you on the right track. Like instead of you spending 10 years, you can spend 3 years by just one conversation with an industry leader. Instead of you spending 5 years, you can spend a year, right? It's just to really hasten the process for you, right? That's why mentorship is important. So feel free to reach out to people. Don't be shy, right? Don't be shy because I found out in my community at the pipeline conversation, I found out that a lot of people are shy. I have somebody in the community that is a motion graphics designer, and at some point I had to tell him that go and reach out to Benga, I think I've forgotten his full name. but his Instagram account is Guza, right? I had to advise him, go reach out to this person, right? Reach out to him, let him know, right? But the point with mentorship also is that people actually abuse these things. So some people don't even know how to reach out. They're just, "Yeah, good afternoon, ma, good afternoon, sir. I want you to mentor me." It does not work that way. Ibukun Awoshika was sharing a story, and she said that there's a particular mentee of ours that reached out to her, and she was like, um, good afternoon, ma, right? I think it's in the tech industry, and it's like, I've already found out this so thing. I've surveyed everybody in the industry, and I see that this is a particular person that if I connect to this person will be able to get me here. And that was what he reached out to her. She said immediately she saw that that particular person is somebody she knew. So it was easy for her to now connect them together. So a lot of times we just come to meet people. We are not telling them like a background story of, okay, this is what I've been able to do, right? This is where I am currently. This is where I'm looking to go, right? Like so that people can know, okay, where how can I come in to help? Because that guy, I had to tell him, go and send him some of the works that you've done before, right? So that you can show him that, okay, there's somewhere I'm coming from, and he will be able to check through. And to be honest, he replied, and they've constantly be having conversations. You see, so there's a proper way to also, go about mentorship when you're reaching out to people to mentor you and all of that. So you don't just message people randomly and you just expect that, oh, or some people will even message, hi, good afternoon, ma. Nobody asked them to be responding to that. If you are reaching out to somebody, you're going straight to the
Go
point.
straight to the point. Yeah.
Yes, and you're telling me, good afternoon, my name is so. You are giving me all of the details at once. Like there's no time. Me, I've made these mistakes. I've made these mistakes. There's no
Awesome.
time. And over time that I realized that everybody is busy. So you have to be getting straight to the point. Another thing also is be visible. Be visible and advocate for yourself. See, let me tell you something. We cannot know what you do until you tell us. And at the end of the day, sef, like I keep on saying, right, visibility is key. Sales is the number. Even as you're learning, right, try as much as possible to be sharing your journey. You see, a lot of times we are too shy. When I had a session with the Pipeline Conversation community this year on 5 must-have skills to elevate their career, I told them, I said, being shy is not going to get you anywhere. Trust me. There are opportunities, there are things that you're going to lose just because you are shy. And there are even people that they are not even as good as you are, that they are going to be getting opportunities. They are going to be entering into rooms on the basis of
Yeah.
branding and just being visible. So see, in this world, there is one of the things that Austin Kleon said in Show Your Work. We are reading Show Your Work in my community currently. And it's one of the things that he said. He said that at the end of the day, everybody is online to talk their talk. Can you just come online and talk your talk? Like, don't be afraid to fail in front of people, right? I feel like a lot of times we are like too guarded, like, what would they think? And I feel like it's pride. You feel like everybody is watching you, nobody is watching you. Everybody has things that they are doing in their life. So come online, right? Come online, come and talk your talk, right? Come and share your own journey. I don't want to be somebody that wants I don't want to be behind the screen and watching people's story play out on TV when I can tell my own story myself. That's what we want to become. So become visible. If you need to go and learn how to leverage LinkedIn, leverage Instagram, leverage all those platforms, please go and take courses and go and learn how to do all of that. It's really, really going to help you because there is no point in being good and not being visible. Trust me. We say things like kings will come to my life, nations will do that. Nothing can happen if you are not visible. Thank you so much. So that's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Taiwo. Thank you. That was like the perfect way to wrap up everything that we've been saying. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Kike. Thank you, Taiwo, so much for your time. And I'm sure, yeah, someone is saying nobody can sell yourself for you. Exactly. That's exactly what Taiwo has told us right now. Put yourself out there. So thank you guys so much for taking out time to do this with us. I'm sure our online audience have really learned a lot. I personally have learned a lot. I loved, hearing how you guys started. It's inspired me. It's made me smile. And I learned also, from the softwares that you guys use to make work easy for you. I'm sure anybody that is watching right now and is looking for how to, start in the industry, you can use AI, you can use technology, leverage on that. It makes your work easy and it's a good way to start. And then Taiwo has encouraged everybody right now, put yourself out there, don't be shy. I think she's talking to me too. Put yourself out there, sell yourself. A lot of people are doing great things, but then this shyness, and truly what she said is actually true. Sometimes it's pride. You're just too bothered about what people think or people's perception about you. The truth is nobody's looking at you. So do your thing. Thank you. Thank you. So many speakers, international speakers, Nigerian speakers that are coming. Is a good place to network. Is a good place to meet other people in the industry. Make friends. Like Ike said, you can join communities. If you're a woman and you're looking for a community to join, we have the Afro Women Animation Community. You'll learn more about it tomorrow when you come for the festival. It's free to attend. It's happening at Daystar Regal Hall, Oregon, Ikeja by 10 a.m. So this is me inviting everybody. I hope to see you tomorrow at the Afro Women Animation Festival. Thank you so much once again to our panelists for taking out the time to do this with us. I really, really appreciate you people. And I look forward to collaborating more with you guys in future. So yeah, I think we've come to the end of this panel discussion, and it was a really good one. Thank you so much. So see you guys some other time. If there are any questions that pops up, I think I'm going to be sharing that with us so that we can answer. But it's for now, I can't see any question. But probably if they send questions to me, maybe privately, I will share with you and we can answer. So thank you so much. Thank you. Till we see again. Bye. 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 Bye.